Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullah wa salamuhu alayhi. Greatest performance on the battlefield was his performance on the day of the Battle of Hunayn. He never displayed a performance like the performance which he gave on the Battle of Hunayn. And indeed, this performance is seen by many as the greatest performance by any Muslim warrior in the history of the religion of Islam. Indeed, you find that this performance is one which is unparalleled in what was the last battle under the leadership of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his family. You find that the Battle of Hunayn is one of two battles mentioned within the Holy Quran. There are only two battles in the Holy Quran which are mentioned by name. The first of them is the Battle of Badr, and the second of them is the Battle of Hunayn. Uhud is not mentioned by name in the Quran. Khaybar is not mentioned by name in the Quran. Whereas you find that Badr and Hunayn are both mentioned by name in the Holy Quran. Badr is mentioned by name in Surah 3 verse 123. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَقَدْ نَصَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ بِبَدْرٍ وَأَنْتُمْ أَذِلَّةٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you victory at Badr when you were small in number and weak. And the second battle mentioned by name in the Quran is Hunayn. In this verse, Surah 9 verse 25, you find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَقَدْ نَصَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ فِي مَوَاطِنَ كَثِيرَةٍ وَيَوْمَ حُنَيْنٍ. Allah gave you victories in a number of wars and in the day of Hunayn. You find that if Allah mentions a particular battle by name, it highlights that this battle has to be examined in depth, no doubt. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have mentioned all the other battles by name, but He decides to mention the first battle of Islam and the last battle of Islam by name. When He mentions the first and the last by name, you find therefore that the event of Hunayn, without a doubt, was a battle of the utmost importance. But when He concludes the ayah, Allah highlights the importance of the stand of Ali within this ayah. Why? Because the ayah says, لَقَدْ نَصَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ فِي مَوَاطِنَ كَثِيرَةٍ وَيَوْمَ حُنَيْنٍ إِذْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ كَثْرَتُكُمْ. On the day when your numbers made you proud. فَلَمْ تُغْنِ عَنْكُمْ شَيْئًا. And your numbers were of no avail to you. وَضَاقَتْ عَلَيْكُمُ الْأَرْضُ بِمَا رَحُبَتْ ثُمَّ وَلَّيْتُمْ مُدْبِرِينَ. The earth became tight for you and you ran away from that battle. On that battle, the Battle of Hunayn, the number of companions who ran away that day made it clear, without a doubt, that Ali ibn Abi Talib had a special position within the religion of Islam. That there's no doubt. Because when you see the number of companions who ran away on that day, it highlighted that Amir al-Mu'mineen had a particular position. A position where on that day he remained firm and highlighted his loyalty and his bravery towards the religion of Islam. Therefore you found that Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen's exploits on the day of Hunayn would be remembered by Muslims forever. In which way? You'd find that later on in the du'as of Ahlul Bayt, there would be a mention of the day of Hunayn and Ali ibn Abi Talib. In the khutbahs, you'd find that the Ahlul Bayt would mention the day of Hunayn. Therefore you found that in the 8th year after Hijrah, 3 years before Rasulullah died, at the age of 30, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib gives his most outstanding ever performance. If you were to ask many people, what do you know of Ali's outstanding performance? Those who would have heard my lectures would have said, well, Badr was great, Uhud was great, Khandaq was great, Khaybar was great. No doubt none of them come an inch near his performance on the day of Hunayn. If you understand what he did on the day of Hunayn, you'll realize that those battles don't come anywhere near his performance on that day. The day of Hunayn remains solely for the son of Abu Talib. Therefore, I'd like to examine his performance on that day in order that we're able to understand the exploits and the bravery that he displayed. And I'd like to do this in the following stages. Number one, what made the Holy Prophet come to conquer Mecca, considering he had signed a peace treaty at Hudaybiyah a couple of years earlier? Number two, when the Prophet entered Mecca, did he forgive Abu Sufyan or did he kill him? Number 3, when the Prophet left Mecca, did he appoint someone as his successor, or did he leave it for the people to decide who succeeds him in Mecca? Number 4, which 2 famous Arab tribes said, if the Arabs of Mecca want to give in to Muhammad, we the 2 Arab tribes will never give in to him. If he wants to, let him show his bravery and come and fight us on our land. Number 5, how did Khalid ibn al-Walid miscalculate the way to fight the Arabs of the mountains? Number 6, how was Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib left alone on the battlefield? And what did he say the moment he realized there was only 7 around him against 4,000 of the opposition? Number 8, what usage of the Battle of Hunayn was made in Dua Nudba to be recited on Friday mornings? And number 9, how did Imam Zayn al-Abidin tell Yazid in his face about the Battle of Hunayn and its importance? Let me examine this and finish this topic off completely. Many people ask the question that how is it that the Holy Prophet went to enter Mecca, considering 2 years earlier he had signed a treaty of peace with the Meccans? We know very well that when the Hudaybiyah treaty was signed, how many years was the peace between the Meccans and Rasulullah? 10. The Holy Prophet had said, for 10 years there's going to be peace between the Meccans, the Quraysh, and between his lot in Medina, the Muslims. You found therefore the Prophet had no intention of ever conquering Mecca in that way. The Prophet, however, wanted to make sure that their hypocrisy was exposed, yes? He said to them, do you agree that if I don't come in and fight you, do you agree for 10 years there'll be peace? They said yes. He said, okay, very well. Then I will not come in, you continue to live in Mecca, we'll live in Medina. The Meccans saw that the Muslims were defeated a couple of years after Hudaybiyah at the Battle of Mu'tah. I don't know how many of you here have been to the ziyarah of Ja'far al-Tayyar in Jordan. Those of you who've been to the ziyarah of Ja'far al-Tayyar in Jordan, Ja'far al-Tayyar is buried in Mu'tah. Mu'tah, Ja'far al-Tayyar, Abdullah bin Rawaha, and Zayd bin Haritha were killed in Mu'tah. When they were killed in Mu'tah, the Christians had annihilated the Muslim army. And Khalid and Walid came back without any victory whatsoever. When the Meccans heard this, they thought, you know what? If the Muslims have just been defeated at Mu'tah, that means Muhammad is not as strong as he thinks he is. So why don't we now begin to break the treaty and begin to kill his people one by one? What they did was that any Muslims who were present in Mecca, they'd ambush them in the middle of the night and kill them. When they'd ambush them, the news reached Rasulullah. Rasulullah said, are you telling me the Muslims are being killed? They said, yes. He said, which Muslims are being killed? They said, from the Banu Khuza'a. He said, so they broke the Hudaybiyah treaty? He said, yes. He said, very well, that's it. I made a peace treaty with them. The idea of the peace treaty was what? Was that we're going to enter Mecca to perform our Umrah. But the idea was also that there wasn't going to be any killing between us. When the Holy Prophet realized that they had killed the Muslims, he turned around to the Muslims in Medina. He said, are all of you coming with me to Mecca? I am not going there anymore to make a treaty. This time, I enter Mecca. And this time, the banner of Islam will be on the Kaaba. And this time, Adhan will be recited by Bilal. And this time, the idols of Quraysh will be broken. Are all of you ready to join me? They said, Ya Rasulullah, all of us are ready to join you. This was when, in the 8th year after Hijrah, 3 years before he dies, he tells all his companions, are you with me? They said, we're all with you. He marched down to Medina with 10,000 companions. When he marched down to Mecca with 10,000. When he marched down to Mecca with 10,000 companions, as they were leaving in the month of Ramadan, they were actually leaving on the 8th of Ramadan, they got to Mecca. When they got to Mecca, Rasulullah told them to all light fires on the outside, so that as if their tents would have light so that they could see. From far away, the Meccans could see fires everywhere. When the Meccans saw fires everywhere, Abu Sufyan started getting scared. Because he knew Muhammad now has come and this isn't going to be a treaty anymore. Now when Rasulullah comes, he has an intention. He wants Mecca back. Abu Sufyan asked Abbas, the uncle of Rasulullah. He said to him, what shall I do? Abbas said to him, listen, you can come with me. You really have no option. Come with me and join the religion of Islam. Now that Prophet Muhammad is coming, He said, but what if Muhammad kills me for what I've done? My wife ate the liver of his uncle. My wife is the one who ate the kidneys. My wife is the one who tortured his companions. Abbas said, Muhammad is not that type of man. He is a man of charity and a man of forgiveness. You've misunderstood him all this time. Come with me, we will go. Abbas took Abu Sufyan towards Rasulullah. Rasulullah not yet entered Mecca. When Rasulullah saw Abu Sufyan was nervous. What's Muhammad going to do to me? Rasulullah turned around to him and said, Abu Sufyan, do not worry. All of you now, you want to join the religion of Islam. There is no harm in you joining. Umar ibn al-Khattab was there at the time. He wanted to kill Abu Sufyan. Yes? Rasulullah said to him, sit down. Even Abbas, son of Abdul Muttalib, said to Umar, wait. Abu Sufyan is under my protection. You cannot touch him. You found that Abu Sufyan joined the religion. But he joined the religion and is counted as one of the tulaqa. What are the tulaqa? The tulaqa are those who joined Islam after the opening of Mecca, yes? The ones who didn't join because they loved Islam. They joined because they are thinking the safety of our lives is when we join this religion. Correct or no? The tulaqa cannot become khulafa in Islamic political thought. You know why? Because you don't know if he's joined Islam sincerely or not. That's why Sayyidah Zainab looks at Yazid in his court in Sham and she says, Amin al-adli ibn al-tulaqa. Is it just, O son of those who were freed, that you place your wives behind a curtain while the daughters of Rasulullah have no curtain to protect them? Therefore you found Abu Sufyan joined. Rasulullah now took the companions. Rasulullah and Ali ibn Abi Talib knew one thing. There was definitely a treachery on the line. Yes? Didn't trust everyone around them. When they knew there was a treachery, they found out that one of the companions had sent a letter with one of the Muslim women. Subhanallah, Quran says, Al-munafiquna wal-munafiqat. Yes? Sometimes the hypocrite men, sometimes no, let the woman, because no one will think she'll do the bad thing. It's always the men. I'm not surprised in Iraq recently when they find suicide bombers who are women, correct or no? Because no one ever imagines it's the men. You found that the woman was carrying a letter to the Meccans. Muhammad's on his way. Make sure all of you get ready. When the letter was known, Ali ibn Abi Talib smelled something. He smelled that there's someone who's got a letter sending it. He went with about 5 companions to capture the person. The person wouldn't admit, he wouldn't admit. Imam Amir, when he took out his sword, he said, listen, you tell me now, otherwise your life's over. Tell me, where is the letter? He said to him, the person, the companion was called Hatib bin Abi Balta'a. He said to him, the letter, here it is. The letter was found, it was a letter of treachery to the Meccans. They wanted to inform the Meccans that Rasulullah is about to enter. Rasulullah therefore took his companions, all of them entered Mecca. Some of these companions hadn't seen their families for a long time. They went and saw their families. Ali ibn Abi Talib, the first thing he did was what? He entered and he went to look for a house because there was someone living in a house he needed to capture who was a major troublemaker in Mecca. But the problem was, he was his sister's husband. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib has 2 sisters, Jumana and Fakhita. He has 3 brothers, Talib, Aqil and Ja'far. His sister, her husband was one of the troublemakers. Ali ibn Abi Talib entered the house, but when he entered, you know this is a dangerous time, you're entering to get Mecca back. As soon as he entered the house to get that, he was wearing a mask. His sister looked at him and said, who are you? He said, where is your husband? She said, how dare you enter my house? He said to her, where is your husband? She said to him, do you know who my brother is? If my brother saw you, your life would end. He removed the mask. He said, it is me, Ali, son of Abu Talib, your brother. Show me where your husband is. It meant that on that day, whether it's Imam Ali or anyone else, there was no such thing as you are my sister, you are my brother. The idea was, where are the troublemakers? They have to be caught. When they were caught, all these troublemakers, when Rasulullah entered Mecca, you found the announcement was made. The announcement, Abu Sufyan had said to the people, you know what? Hide in your houses, do not fight. Muhammad has come with peace. Hind, his wife, came out. She said, what do you mean Muhammad's come with peace? Muhammad's come. We have to kill him. How dare you say he's come with peace? She wanted them to fight Rasulullah. Rasulullah came out in front of everyone. He said, Bilal, recite the adhan. The adhan was recited. Then he said, oh people, what do you expect of me when I've come to Mecca today? They said, you are the generous and the son of the generous, yes? And that you are a man of charity and forgiveness. He said to them, O people, I say to you what Yusuf said to his brothers when he saw them. All of you are now forgiven today, yes? There is no recompense. Imagine that line of Rasulullah. All those years he's been away from Mecca. He comes back. Look at the beauty of the forgiveness of Rasulullah. How many of us, when people have wronged us in the community, someone comes and says, listen, let's bygones be bygones. Forget about this. Let's reconcile. No. Who is he to reconcile? Who is she to reconcile? Even in our families, our sister wants to pick up the phone to talk to us. No. Our auntie, no. Our cousins, no. Rasulullah entered Mecca. All of these people who had oppressed him for years. He said to all of them, all of you are free. Habbar ibn al-Aswad came to him. He said, Ya Rasulullah, I'm the man who used to make fun of you and I caused a miscarriage for your daughter. He said to him, you are forgiven. Wahshi, the man who killed Hamza, came to Rasulullah. He said, Ya Rasulullah, now that you've conquered Mecca, I want to come and ask you something. He turned around to him and said, are you Wahshi? He said, yes. He said, do not worry, go. Yes, the man who killed his uncle. Therefore, the Muslims had come to Mecca not to kill. They came, Rasulullah the message. Even when Rasulullah heard Khalid ibn Walid had gone in and killed 3 people, he said, I've got nothing to do with Khalid ibn Walid and his action. Khalid ibn Walid has disgusted us with his action. We have not come here to kill. We have come here to say to the people one message. Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha, wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qaba'ila lita'arafu, inna akramakum 'inda Allahi atqakum. O mankind, we've created you from male and female, different races, different tribes, in order that you get to know one another. The best amongst you in the eyes of Allah is the one with the most taqwa. Not Bani Hashim, not Bani Umayyah, not black, not white. Whoever in Mecca has the taqwa, he's the best in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He then entered the Kaaba. He told Ali, son of Abu Talib, right on my shoulders, yes? He said, do you see the idols in the Kaaba? He said, yes. Exactly how many years? 20 odd years after Rasulullah was announcing his prophethood, now he walks into the Kaaba. Ali, son of Abu Talib, on his shoulders. He says to him, destroy the idols. The first of the idols to destroy is who? Hubal, the idol of Bani Umayyah. Ali ibn Abi Talib destroyed it. And that's why you have the famous lines of poetry. I don't know which one to be more happy with. The fact that I was standing on Rahmatan lil Alameen, or the fact that I was below Rabbil Alameen. Yes? An unbelievable line. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib entered the Kaaba. The Kaaba up until that day was full of what? The Kaaba up until that day was full of idols. Now the Kaaba, once and for all, the idols were removed. Ali ibn Abi Talib did what his grandfather Ibrahim had done many years earlier and purified the Kaaba. And now Rasulullah made it clear. The people of Mecca, all of you are forgiven. Ali ibn Abi Talib, with Rasulullah, brought Mecca back to the religion of Islam. However, the tribes of Thaqif and Hawazin, 2 vicious Arab tribes. Thaqif produced some of the best warriors in the history of religion of Islam, correct or no? If I were to ask all of you now, when you hear the surname Thaqafi, who's the first one comes in your mind? Mukhtar, correct? Mukhtar al-Thaqafi. Mughira bin Shu'ba, Thaqafi. Yes? Who else is a Thaqafi? Hajjaj bin Yusuf, Thaqafi. Thaqif have ferocious warriors. They coupled themselves with Hawazin. They said, we hear the Meccans gave up Mecca to Muhammad once and for all. We hear Abu Sufyan has given up. They said to him, yes. He said, these Meccans don't have any strong warriors. We have the best of the warriors. If Muhammad thinks that he can control this area, let him fight us. They began to plot fights against the Holy Prophet. The Holy Prophet turned around to his soldiers. He said, listen, Thaqif and Hawazin have not accepted my call for unity in Mecca. I've come to Mecca after 20 years to say to everyone, those of you who hated me, now you're welcome to join me. And those of you who love me can live with me. But these lot are plotting against us. Are you ready for all of us to go towards them? They said, Ya Rasulullah, we are ready. 10,000 from Medina, 2,000 from Mecca, 12,000 of them left to go towards the fight within the Ta'if area. Thaqif had sent out lines of poetry. You know what they said? said, Muhammad thinks he can come to us with thousands. He doesn't know that 3 of us can take on all of his thousands. Yes? They had 3 soldiers undefeated in war. 3 soldiers untouchable. These 3, before the battle had even commenced, had come out and said, Muhammad's soldiers, if he's lucky, remain loyal to him. Most of them will run away. Yeah, straight out. Most of them will run away. And in his army, there aren't many brave warriors. All 3 of us, what was their name? Malik bin Auf al-Nasri, Uthman bin Abdullah, and Abu al-Jardal. They said 3 of us can take on his whole army. There's only 1 young man he has in his army who we have to face. If we finish him, the army finishes. Yes? They knew Ali ibn Abi Talib was the only point of obstacle between them and destroying Islam. They said, all of Muhammad's soldiers are nothing compared to us. We are the soldiers of the mountains. None come near us, except whom? Except the son of Abu Talib. We've been waiting for years to face him one-on-one. Yes? It was a cry from the beginning. Rasulullah, now that he had conquered Mecca, he left Mecca. Did he leave appointing a successor or no? This is a vital question in Islamic political thought. You see, if Rasulullah leaves Mecca without appointing a successor, then everyone will say, I am his successor, correct or no? If a prophet leaves an area without appointing a successor, it's like me running a business. I'll say to all of you, you know what, I'm going away for a week on holiday. If I don't appoint a successor, the whole of the company will say they're the ones in charge. Unless I make clear that, you know what, this person's in charge of the business while I'm away, correct? Rasulullah would never leave an area without appointing a successor. Because he knew very well, if I leave this area without appointing a successor, there'll be disunity and fighting with the successor. The poets talk about this on many occasions, yes? And they say, if Muhammad had to leave a successor for going out to Hunayn, how could he not leave a successor when he went out to his Lord in the heavens, yes? If you need to leave a successor for going to a battle, is it something logical that you leave the world and you don't appoint a successor on your behalf? Therefore you find when he left Mecca, he left Attab bin Usaid. When he left Attab bin Usaid in charge, Rasulullah left Mecca, 12,000 soldiers. You know the opposition, how many soldiers they had? 4,000. Badr, 313 versus 950. Uhud, 4,000 versus 700. Khandaq, 10,000 versus 3,000. Now Islam had become so strong, 12,000 versus 4,000. But the Quran reprimanded them. Yes, what did the Quran say? لَقَدْ نَصَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ فِي مَوَاطِنَ كَثِيرَةٍ وَيَوْمَ حُنَيْنٍ إِذْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ كَثْرَتُكُمْ فَلَمْ تُغْنِ عَنْكُمْ شَيْئًا. Quran said Allah gave you many victories. And on the day of Hunayn, when you became arrogant because of your numbers. And your numbers didn't help you at all. You know these 12,000 Muslims? They all went towards the battle. They think, you know what, there's 12,000 of us, there's 4,000 of them, this is going to be an easy victory. Rasulullah from the beginning had said to all of them, listen, do not be arrogant. There was a day we were small, they were big. And because of our iman, we were able to defeat the opposition. Now when you come, do not be arrogant thinking there's going to be an easy war. And you know when you fight any country in the mountains, you don't get victory easily. I'm sure you can name a couple of examples, yes? When you fight any people in the mountains, there's no way you'll achieve a victory easily. Rasulullah soldiers came. Who was in charge on that day? Khalid ibn al-Walid on one side, Ali ibn Abi Talib on the other, yes? Rasulullah said, he said to them, listen, hold back, remain patient. I am your prophet. I don't want to see you thinking you're arrogantly going to win. Khalid ibn Walid wanted success on that day. Why? At Mu'tah, he came back embarrassed. Ja'far al-Tayyar, Abdullah ibn Rawaha, and the rest of them died. He came back without any victory. So he thought he needed to make amends. You know what he did? He tried to go in the morning time to surprise the Arabs on the mountains. He tried to go through the morning so that he does what? So that he surprises them and achieves the victory that he wants. You think these Arabs don't know these things? Malik bin Auf al-Nasri, Uthman bin Abdullah, Abu Jardal were waiting. Why? They want you to come through the narrow pathway of the mountains. Because in the narrow pathway you're coming through, you can't see the soldiers coming down from the mountains, can you? They came down in the morning through the narrow pathway. As they were coming through the narrow pathway, the thousands of the soldiers of Thaqif and Hawazin came down the mountains. When they came down, 12,000 Muslim soldiers. I beg you, listen to all of this. They tell me I have to respect every companion who lived with the Prophet Muhammad. I reply by saying respect has to be earned in life, correct or no? So when I look at a battle, there's 12,000 soldiers, they're in a narrow pathway, and I see that this mountain, that these men are meant to be men of bravery. 12,000 soldiers saw the Arabs running down on them from Thaqif and Hawazin. Do you know how many soldiers remained from those 12,000? 8. 11,992 ran away. 8 were now to face 4,000. The Quran says it, I don't say it. You know what the Quran says? فَلَمْ تُغْنِ عَنْكُمْ شَيْئًا وَضَاقَتْ عَلَيْكُمُ الْأَرْضُ بِمَا رَحُبَتْ ثُمَّ وَلَّيْتُمْ مُدْبِرِينَ. Yes? وَلَّيْتُمْ مُدْبِرِينَ. All that means, you ran and ran and ran. You found that these companions, as soon as they saw the soldiers coming down, these companions, what happened to them? They all started to run away. Do you know who remained? 8. Do you know who was at the front of those 8? Ali ibn Abi Talib. Yes? Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib stood there. He sees 4,000 soldiers in front of him now. He turns around and he sees that everybody else has run away. He has 7 with him. With these 7 who are with him, he looks around. One side, Abbas, son of Abd al-Muttalib. Other side, Fadl ibn al-Abbas. Behind him, who? Behind him, Rabi' ibn al-Harith. Next to him, Ayman bin Ubayd. Next to him, Abdullah bin Mas'ud. Next to him, Osama bin Zayd. A few years later, when Osama has to lead the army, certain people say, why you put us under the 18-year-old? Because the 18-year-old, when he was 15, never left Ali ibn Abi Talib. Osama bin Zayd, Ayman bin Ubayd, Abdullah bin Mas'ud, Rabi' ibn al-Harith. You find Abu Sufyan ibn al-Harith. All of them, Abbas bin Abd al-Muttalib, 7, Ali ibn Abi Talib in front of them. He turned around to them and said, listen, all of you, have you got my back? They said, yes. He said, now watch what I'm going to do. Yes? Ali ibn Abi Talib, there is one British historian who says, Ali ibn Abi Talib on that day was like a demon possessed. Yes? When he looked at the opposition, 4,000 of them, he just looked around at them and said, you guys just watch my back. Look at what I'm going to do right now. An absolute annihilation of the opposition on the day of Hunayn. One man drove through thousands in one battle. Yes? Absolute annihilation. He went through them. Allah in the Quran says that your numbers made you arrogant. You all ran away. I then helped you by putting sakina down on you. And I gave you unseen forces. I tell you one thing, there may be 8 of you. If you have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He'll send down angels to help you and be your soldiers alongside you, correct or no? If you ask anyone, you may be small in number, but when you've got faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, watch Ali ibn Abi Talib go. Ali ibn Abi Talib said, leave this all to me. Watch me alone with all 4,000 of them. Who came out to meet him? Those 3, yes? Those 3 turned around. They said, all of you wait. The son of Abu Talib, we waited years to meet you, yes? At Khaybar, we heard you finish Marhab with 1 strike. At Khandaq, Amr ibn Wit, what a CV, resume Ali ibn Abi Talib has, yes? Look at that resume, it's unbelievable, yes? Every name, and at what age? He's 30 on this day. At what age was he at Khaybar? 29. At what age was he in Khandaq? 27. At what age was he at Uhud? 25. Badr? 24. Ask yourself in your 20s, what did you give the religion of Islam? What did you give the religion of Islam in your 20s? That today you find people walking around their mosques, proud. I have done X and I have done Y. Habibi, in your 20s, what did you give to Islam? Don't tell me I became religious in my 40s and my 50s. A Muslim is not someone who waits for Hajj or waits for marriage to become religious. A Muslim looks at the son of Abu Talib in his 20s and says, I want to be like my role model, yes? From a young age, a person sees Allah opening the doors for him, allowing him to sleep in the bed of Rasulullah on the night of Hijrah, giving him victory at Badr, the heavens saying there is no sword but his at Uhud. The son of Abu Talib came out, Malik bin Auf, Abu Jardal, Uthman bin Abdullah, all 3 of them. Then 2 of them came out, They said it's a double combo between the two of us and you. We hear that as a swordsman you're the greatest warrior Arabia's seen. But we see ourselves as the greatest warriors in Arabia's history. So today that statistic has to change, yes? Either one of us is going to remain alive. He said, are you both ready for me? He said, yes. Within a few seconds the narrators of hadith say, Ali ibn Abi Talib not only had got one of their swords, but now with two swords in his hands cuts both their heads in one piece, yes? Both of them go on the ground. Both of them finished. He looked towards the opposition. The opposition saw him. They said, if the son of Abu Talib just killed our commanders, there's absolutely no way we're going to finish him. He was able to take the flag of the religion of Islam. And you know when those companions ran away, and by the way, the books mention their names, yes? If you want to, you can go and see who ran away, yes? And so the first time there's been a running away. Because when people come and tell me, these companions of Rasulullah, you don't know how great they are. I'm like, Habibi, am I someone stupid or no? I don't understand. Because when I'm looking in the Quran, in Uhud it says, وَمَا مُحَمَّدٌ إِلَّا رَسُولٌ قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ الرُّسُلُ أَفَإِنْ مَاتَ أَوْ قُتِلَ انْقَلَبْتُمْ عَلَىٰ أَعْقَابِكُمْ. In Uhud, the Quran says, Muhammad is but a messenger. Messengers have come before him. If he dies or is killed, you run away and leave him alone. Yes? At Hunayn, it says what? فَلَمْ تُغْنِ عَنْكُمْ شَيْئًا وَضَاقَتْ عَلَيْكُمُ الْأَرْضُ بِمَا رَحُبَتْ ثُمَّ وَلَّيْتُمْ. You ran away. How many more battles do you want to run away from? I don't understand. Because if I'm meant to respect you, I can't have you run away to every single battle. Surely there has to be some sort of commitment. And you know when they ran away, you know what Abu Sufyan started doing? Abu Sufyan, when they ran away, Abu Sufyan thought this is going to be an easy victory. He started saying, Muhammad's magic is now over, yes? And then others were saying, Muhammad's sorcery is over. Others were saying, it's Muhammad's last day. They saw the son of Abu Talib come back with the flag of the religion of Islam, yes? None could come near Ali ibn Abi Talib's performance on that day. He came back. 4,000 had fought 8 men of the religion of Islam, yes? It went to show you, Islam wasn't about the quantity, it was about the quality of the believers, yes? Islam wasn't about gathering thousands. Islam was rather about how many of that firm faith, that certainty, that love for the religion. He came back, the wounds were on his body, but the flag and the banner of the religion of Islam was still in his hand, aloft. He returned back. You'd think that when he gives such a victory, if I gave such a victory for Islam, I would turn around and say, give me all the spoils of war, give me their shields, give me their swords. Ali ibn Abi Talib simply went to go and recite his prayers and his supplications, yes? There were others in Rasulullah's army, the audacity, others who had run away, come to Rasulullah. You know what they say to him? We hear that you're giving spoils of war to the new converts of the religion of Islam. Because you know what happened after the battle? In Islamic economics, after the battle, there is a segment of society, many of you may have read about them in the Quran. In the Quran, it says charity should go to who? To the poor and the needy and the orphans. Then there's a fourth segment. Al-mu'allafati qulubuhum. You've read al-mu'allafati qulubuhum? Many times people say, what's mu'allafati qulubuhum? When you read in the Quran, the translation is those whose hearts are inclined to Islam. A certain amount of sadaqah goes to the group of people whose hearts are inclined to Islam. Those who've just joined Islam, or those who are about to join Islam, a certain portion should go to them. Someone says, why? Because either number one, these people are about to join Islam, you welcome them to say you are as important as everybody else. Or number two, to avert their evil from ruining Islam. Yes? Because after Hunayn, when a certain amount of the spoils went to Abu Sufyan, you found certain people turning around to Rasulullah. They said, how dare you give these new Muslims more than us? As if they had given victory to the Muslims. Half of them had run away. Now they're saying, how dare you? One of them, Harquz bin Zuhair al-Tamimi, came to Rasulullah. He said, what's this? You give more to others. You're a man of injustice. Half of you have just run away from war, and now you have the rudeness to call Rasulullah a man of injustice. And then Rasulullah says, do not worry, be patient. That man, just be patient with him. Later on, that man fights Ali ibn Abi Talib at Nahrawan. That's one. Others, Rasulullah had given them a certain amount. The companions would come and complain. Rasulullah says a line I will never forget. It's in Sahih al-Bukhari, on the chapter of those whose hearts are inclined to the religion of Islam. You know what Rasulullah said? May Allah bless Nabi Musa alayhi salam. He faced more difficulty with his companions than I did with mine. Imagine what stage Rasulullah reaches. That number one, that is how saddened he is. Number two, he remembers Nabi Musa and says, if you think these companions are giving me trouble, Nabi Musa had more, of course. His companions ended up worshipping the calf. But what do you find? You find Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib had given victory to the religion of Islam. Did Imam come to Rasulullah and say, give me my spoils? Give me my booty? Give me the sword? Not at all. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib had not asked for anything at all. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib simply went back towards what he was doing. Rasulullah distributed what he distributed, and the Quran mentioned the victory on the day of Hunayn. Was the Quran the only book to mention this? No. Ahlul Bayt never ever forgot the victory on the day of Hunayn. That there's no doubt about. When you read the hadiths of Ahlul Bayt and the du'as of Ahlul Bayt, you find that the Ahlul Bayt themselves never ever forgot the role of the day of Hunayn. Because the day of Hunayn earmarked Ali ibn Abi Talib clearly as the man who remained loyal more than any other companion of Rasulullah. When 11,000 men run away and all claim to love you, and one man stays with 7 soldiers, it's highlighted his passion and his dedication to the religion. Therefore you found the Ahlul Bayt. Where did they remind us of the day of Hunayn? The first time they reminded us of the day of Hunayn was in Dua Nudba. Yes? Dua Nudba. Try and recite Dua Nudba every Friday morning. That dua is your salutations to the 12th Imam of your time, Imam Sahib al-Asr wa zaman. That dua is your salutations towards the Imam of your time. It's your relationship with the Imam of your time. It's your dedication to him. It's when you start looking at him and saying, where is Hassan? Where is Hussein? Where are the sons of Hussein? Where are those shining stars? Where are those bright moons? Where is the man who's the connection between the heavens and the earth? It hurts me that I see all the creation, but I don't see you, yes? That dua Nudba, one of the most beautiful du'as. In that dua, Ahlul Bayt mentioned that it was the hatred of those from Badr and Hunayn that led to the oppression of Amir al-Mu'mineen, yes? Because a lot of those who were the grandsons and the children of the soldiers at Hunayn wanted to take out their animosity on Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib and his children. And that's why I tell you, when you do your research on the 10th of Muharram, look at the names of those who butchered the body of Imam al-Hussein, yes? When you look at the names of those who butchered the body of Imam al-Hussein, you see the surnames of Thaqafi, Hawazin, Thaqif, Ta'if, Hawazin. The nephews and the cousins of those who Ali defeated at Hunayn wanted to take out their vengeance on Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. That's why I tell you, there's one line. On the 10th of Muharram, until today, it hurts me every time I hear it. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam came out on the 10th of Muharram. When he came out, it was his final moment when he came out. He stood in front of the opposition. He looked at them. He said, is not Khadija my grandmother? They said, yes. He said, is not Rasulullah my grandfather? He said, yes. He said, is not Fatima al-Zahra my mother? They said, yes. Is not Ali ibn Abi Talib my father? They said, yes. He said, is not Hamza my uncle? He said, yes. He said to them, then why do you want to kill me? Their reply, I will never forget. They looked at him, they said, we want revenge for what your father done to us. The whole Karbala was revenge for Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. The exploits of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib came back to haunt him, and they took it out on his son. You think it's normal to kill a human being? It's not. But to behead a human being and butcher him and make your horses trample all over his body, yes? They made their horses trample all over the body of Abu Abdullah. That haqid of Hunayn, they couldn't let go of. Hunayn and the defeat of Hunayn, they couldn't let go of. And that's why Imam Zayn al-Abidin in front of Yazid in Sham, the battle between him and Yazid in the words, was when Imam Zayn al-Abidin reminded Yazid, yes? Because Yazid was right in front of him and the Imam was in front of Yazid. And Yazid began to boast about the Battle of Badr, yes? Yazid, when he boasted about the Battle of Badr, what did he do? He said, لَيْتَ أَشْيَاخِ بِبَدْرٍ شَهِدُوا جَزَعَ الْخَزْرَجِ مِنْ وَقْعِ الْأَسَلِ لَا هَلُّوا وَاسْتَهَلُّوا فَرَحًا ثُمَّ قَالُوا يَا يَزِيد لَا تُشَلْ لَعِبَتْ هاشم بِالْمُلْكِ فَلَا خَبَرٌ جَاءَ وَلَا وَحْيٌ نَزَلْ. Yazid looked at Imam Zayn al-Abidin. He said, I wish my ancestors from Badr were here. so they could see the way I poke the teeth of Aba Abdullah, yes? So they see the way I poke the eyes of Imam Hussein. He used to have the head of Imam Hussein next to him, yes? He would poke the eyes of Aba Abdullah. Then he'd poke the teeth of Aba Abdullah. And then Imam Zayn al-Abidin looked at him. He saw what he was doing to his father. Did what he was doing to his father affect him? No. Imam Zayn al-Abidin looked at him and said, you want to mention Badr? I'll tell you who we are. He looked at him, he said, oh people, Allah has granted us 6 and given us excellence in 7. He has given us generosity and patience and eloquence and forbearance and knowledge and the believer's affection for us. Then he said, Allah has given us excellence in 7. From us is whom? From us is the Holy Prophet. From us is Ali ibn Abi Talib. From us is Fatima al-Zahra. From us is Ja'far al-Tayyar. From us is Hamza. From us are Hassan, from us are Hussein. Those of you who know me. And those of you who don't, let me tell you who I am. I am the son of Mecca and Mina. I am the son of Zamzam and Safa. I am the son of the best of men to have circumambulated the Kaaba, and the best of them to have held the black stone in his Aba. I am the son of the man who was taken by Buraq through the air. I am the son of the man who led the angels in prayer. I am the son of Muhammad al-Mustafa. I am the son of Ali al-Murtada, the man who fought the disbelievers until they said, La ilaha illallah. Then he said what? Then he said, I am the son of the man who fought with 2 swords and pledged 2 allegiances and went on 2 migrations. Then he says, I am the son of the man, Baya bay'atain, Hajar hijratain. Yes? Then Al-Ibn man qatala bi Badr wa Hunayn. He said, oh Yazid, I am the son of the man who went on 2 migrations, who pledged 2 allegiances, and the son of the man who fought at Badr and Hunayn. He made sure Hunayn was mentioned in front of Yazid to remind him that just in case you try and finish the fada'il, the merits of my grandfather Ali ibn Abi Talib, then I will use your country to narrate his merits. I am the son of the believers, pious one, the descendants of the Prophet, annihilator of the polytheists, commander of the faithful, glory of the worshippers, honorable of the criers. I am the son of the man who was the first to come towards the call of Allah and his prophets with no precedence before him. I am the son of the man who was the best in prayer and the best in fasting. I am the son of the man who was assisted by Jibreel and Mikael. I am the son of the man who was the arrow of Allah targeting the hypocrites and the garden and the treasurer of his wisdom. I am the son of the lion of Iraq and the master of Hijaz. I am the son of a Badri and a Uhudi and a Khifi and a Aqabi and a Muhajiri. I am the son of the father of Hassan and Hussein. That is my grandfather Ali ibn Abi Talib. Then he said, I am the son of the lady who was deemed pure on the earth. I am the son of Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam. And then he said, I am the son of the man whose body lies alone on the ground in Karbala with the wildebeest surrounding it. As soon as he said those lines, Yazid wanted the adhan to be recited, yes? So when the adhan began to be recited, at that moment, the adhan was recited, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Imam Zayn al-Abidin said, surely Allah is great, there is none as great as Allah. And then the adhan said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Imam said, my eyes and my feet and my mouth and my eyes, all of them testify that there is no God but Allah. Then he said, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. He looked and he said, oh Yazid, is Muhammad your grandfather or is he mine? If you claim that he is your grandfather, then you are lying. But if you know that he is mine, then why did you kill his grandson on the plains of Karbala? And that's why Imam Zayn al-Abidin would never let go of what happened on the 10th of Muharram, yes? To the extent that Imam al-Baqir gives us a narration that hurts all of our hearts. Imam al-Baqir, what does he narrate? He says, when my father Zayn al-Abidin was dying of the poison, he said the poison had surrounded his body. May Allah never show you your father in a difficult state, yes? He said that I saw my father, the poison all over his body. He said, Imam al-Baqir said, when I saw him in such pain, I came and I hugged my father's chest. That's what you would do, correct? When your father's in pain, what would you do? you? You want to come and embrace your father? You want to come and hug his chest? He said, when I hugged my father's chest, my father began to cry in a way I've never ever seen him cry. He said at that moment, I said to him, Father, in a moment you'll see Rasulullah, in a moment you'll see Amir al-Mu'mineen, in a moment you'll see Fatima al-Zahra, in a moment you'll see Imam al-Hassan, in a moment you'll see Imam al-Husayn. He said to him, Father, why do you cry when I embrace your chest? The reply is one that hurts the heart. He said to him, oh my son Muhammad, I cry because when I am dying you are on my chest. Whereas do you know who sat on the chest of my father Abu Abdullah when he lay on the ground? Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to raise us with Muhammad and Al Muhammad. Ya Allah, raise us with the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Asr al-Zaman. Ya Allah, allow us to be amongst his companions and those who follow his message. Ya Allah, allow us to honor the merits of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Give us the good health that we are able to finish the seerah of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Ya Allah, allow us to continue in the service of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Ya Allah, this time next year, let us sit by the grave of Ali ibn Abi Talib in the land of Najaf. Ya Allah, let our cheeks rub on the grave of Imam al-Husayn in Karbala. Ya Allah, for our brothers who are not feeling well, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provide them with strong health and allow them to recover. Our brothers Haji Saftar, Haji Shaini, Ya Allah, allow them to return back to full recovery.